Hey, Jagged here. Before we get into the video, if you've liked my content, smash that sub button. And I also stream live on Twitch most nights, so check me out at twitch.tv/jacket. My links will be in the description. Let's get into the video. Right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are not getting burnt out of that intro. I will definitely make a new one here soon for you, but today, we're going to talk about the 10 mistakes that you made while leveling up. Yeah, I'm looking at you, and I'm talking to you. Put the popcorn down. It's important. We need to figure out the mistakes. No, but in all seriousness, I made these mistakes as well, and I thought it would be very interesting to just put it out to the public here. Make it very easy for everyone to know so that they can follow some of these steps. It's not going to be like a step-by-step process of how to level up from 1 to 100. Very short video here. So I'm just going to go through those 10 mistakes here. So number one, we were not saving good low-level items for our alt characters. If you are a player like myself, you like to make alt characters, you like to try new things, make new builds, have fun with all the things that the game offers you. You find a good item that it has great stats on it, like a high damage, low level rare weapon. Maybe it's got vulnerable on it. Instead of scrapping it, make sure you should, put that in your vault. Definitely store that item, especially if it's something that can be used for multiple of the classes. Very, very good. And keeping an eye out for these items on your other characters too. So if you find like a good crossbow for a rogue and you're playing a druid, it might be a good idea to store that in your vault as well. But by storing these powerful items for these kind of classes, it'll just make it easier for your little low guys to get up to that power level that you want them to be at. Number 2, doing world events early on. This is a twofold attack on your character progression. You're going to be getting obols for completing these events. Obols are a great source of getting early game legendary powers that seem to be very difficult to obtain because you don't get very many legendaries. What this means is you want to roll the item that has, very important powers for a build that you are going to try to do. So like if I was recommending obol spending on a summoner necromancer, I would want you to buy boots for a while. You want to get extra skeleton mages and extra skeleton warriors. So things like that. The second attack that this trick does for you is it allows you to get a very early rare weapon, and these are much more powerful than any of the blues that you're going to find for quite some time. And if you get one of these early ones, it'll get you from 1 to 10 almost instantly. And then from there, just returning every now and then to doing some world events will help you out. Very, very good things to be following on. The next one, number 3. Side quests are very fast renowned progress. This is a little bit of a caveat. It will take some time to get used to which quests are good and which quests are bad. But some side quests go into dungeons, and so you can do, potentially get a whisper dungeon that is also a dungeon you haven't done for the renowned grind, which also you have a side quest for to go into, and that is a threefold into progress for your early game character. That is the trifecta we like to call it. But for the most part, going into a dungeon you haven't done and having a side quest for it is pretty juicy. So make sure you are just kind of getting familiar with which side quest does what. If it's something you like to do, you can pull up a list of side quests that are long or short. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I know for a fact that the dungeon side quests are all out there on the list. Moving on. Number 4. You are starting on World Tier 2. Gotcha. That's what the Blizzard devs are saying. World Tier 2 doesn't feel worth it at all, even after the update. You're killing enemies much faster on World Tier 1. I did a hardcore challenge, World Tier 2, Summoner Necromancer, start of Season 1, and let me tell you, you think that it's going to feel rewarding, and it feels lackluster. Just play on World Tier 1. Once you're obliterating everything, you got some good items, you got some good build synergy going on. Move up to World Tier 2 if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But just start on World Tier 1. You can probably go all the way to 50 without even realizing you're still on World Tier 1. Number 5. Getting a head start on Renown. You may think, oh, well, this is like the same thing as number 3. Well, let Jack can explain it to you. Rather than, power level your character through some very famous XP strats like resetting a stronghold over and over again, what I would recommend is actually finishing your renown grind sooner rather than later. Don't be like, okay, I want to have fun levels 1 to 50, and I'll do the renown grind when I'm in World Tier 3. Wrong. Don't do that. Stop. Listen to the words I have to say here. Doing dungeons that you haven't done and also doing them as a whisper dungeon just on that time interval is a fantastic way to double dip into large XP drops. Completing the dungeon is going to give you an XP drop. Completing 2 of them is going to give you a whisper drop. That is a large XP drop. You're now completing Renown. You're completing Tree of Whispers to get other important materials for your character. This is how I would recommend doing it until most of your Renown grind is done. That way, when you get to World Tier 3, you now can play the content you want to play instead of going, oh, fuck, I just got done grinding. Ooh, what do I gotta do now? Ah, shoot, I gotta do 115 dungeons in a row. It's not fun. It's not pretty. No one wants to see it. Number 6. Told you, not a short video or not a long video, just a very short one. Attempt your capstone dungeons early on. These can be very intimidating for you. However, if you are minus 10 levels of those capstones, which is level 40 and level 60, but you feel very powerful, like things are dying before you could see them powerful, like you just feels very good for you to like just go through the dungeon, then I would recommend you do your capstone dungeons early. The reason for this is that unlocks World Tier 3 and 4, which also means it unlocks the access to sacred items and ancestral items, and these are 2 very large power spikes for your character. The earlier that you get them, the better off you're going to be. Okay, we're going to take a quick pause here. So, if you got to this point so far, make sure you write a comment down below, say something about your favorite thing in Diablo 4, and we'll read them out probably in the next video if you guys make some of those things. The reason we're taking a break is now we're going to go on to some later game tips. These 6 will get you to World Tier 3 and 4, but some of these things I want to talk about later game tips. I know we said when leveling up, but technically you're still leveling in World Tier 4. So, early Paragon boards. Number 7. Make sure you're picking up a first Paragon board that's impacting your build choice, something that you are actually going to utilize. An example of this is I want to do minions, and so I'm going to go Cult Leader first, and I'm going to go for that legendary node because it's a large power spike for me early on. Now, the reason I'm doing this is not because my endgame build says to do it, but because I want to be getting that power as quickly as possible. And if I'm not getting that power as quickly as possible, what's going to happen is I'm going to be following this amazing 10 billion damage guide for endgame, but it's going to be such a slog. It's going to come online at level 90, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if only I had that level 90 node at level 70. Well, you can. You absolutely can. The guide is fantastic, I'm sure. Play a little bit with it. Get an important Paragon node for you first, and then go and start working on some of those things. When you have more Paragon points, I know it's going to suck to reset, but trust me on this, it's going to suck a lot less when you can actually kill the mobs to get to level 90 if you can't kill mobs at level 70. All right. That was number 7. This was number 8. Pay attention to your armor and jewelry stats. We see green number, it go on character. We see green number, it go on character. This is a level 1 to 50 mentality. Before World Tier 3, please do this. Make your life easier. Don't even think twice about it. See green number, equip the character. What number 8 is going to tell you here is we are now in World Tier 3. We're now in World Tier 4. If it is a sacred or ancestral item, and your slot is not one of those, let's look at those stats on that item. Does it have CDR and I need it for my CDR build? Does it have vulnerable damage on my ring if I need it for my vulnerable damage stats if I'm lacking it? Do I need crit chance? Do I need crit damage? Do I need this stat? Do I need that stat? What passive do I want on my necklace? Look at these things. Once you hit World Tier 3 and 4, these are going to be the large source of your power and where a lot of your build starts coming together when you have these affixes. We see, when we get to World Tier 3, it is no longer I see green number, I equipped it. It is I see green number, but man, that does not have CDR and the passive that I'm stacking. That's going right to the vendor. Important one. Number 9. Ooh, going quick. Your damage and skill plus modifiers matter for your damage. All of your calculation is based off your base weapon damage and how many points are in that skill. What this means is if you want more offense and more damage for your core skill ability, or whatever skill you chose to do damage with, you want the highest value of your weapon damage that you can possibly obtain, and then you want as many points in that plus modifier for your skills in that relevant slot. So if you're doing Bone Spear, you want the highest weapon damage that you can for your weapon, and on your gloves, you want as many ranks in Bone Spear as you can possibly get. Super crucial. It's really something you should be paying attention to once you get to World Tier 3 and 4. All right. Like I said, short video, 10 minutes. Number 10, going to be a cop-out one. Y'all going to hate me for it, but have fun. The internet's a great place for information, but at the end of the day, I think it's more important that you are having fun while playing a game that you enjoy. Remember, we create these type of lists and this type of content because it's fun for us. For myself, anyone else that you see on YouTube, it's fun for them to do that. Now, that doesn't mean what you see and hear is the end all be all. If it's something that you don't agree with or you think is just bogus, just ignore it. Don't do it. Don't deal with it. And keep playing the game that you want to play. But I hope this helps out anyone that might be struggling early on. I hope this helps build up those alternate characters that you have. And I will see you in the next video. Peace!